I was online just looking at stuff to DIY because I am trying to find some nice cool things for you guys to DIY, and one of them was the putting stick. The putting stick I've seen a couple times on a couple different YouTube channels, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty interesting idea. So I went to go look it up to see how much it was, and I was flabbergasted on how much they're charging for a stick. And so I thought to myself, what else could I find that I could quickly DIY? And these are the top 5 things I think you guys should DIY instead of buy. And the first thing is this putting stick. So let's look at the putting stick and you'll understand why I decided to make this video. So I'm online right now. I just searched up the putting stick, and if you look, I'm actually going to go to images real quick. It's actually kind of like well-made thing. It looks like it's made out of resin. If you look at this one right here, it looks like there's a little level on it. It has a backstop for your putting stroke that's adjustable. Really cool stuff, really innovative. I'm not saying it's not a good item. I just think it's way too expensive for what it is. Mostly because if you look at it and you look at a yardstick, look at this yardstick. Doesn't it look somewhat familiar? Yes, this doesn't have a level and it doesn't have a stop for your backswing. And I feel like that's all good stuff, but could you get just as much benefit as this? Before I say anything though, let's check the price of this putting stick. So I'm gonna go back to the search all feature on Google. I'm going to go to their website. As you can see, I've already been to their website, so I know how much this is, and it's way too expensive for what it is. And if you look, they got some cool things, like they see it here. It comes with like this paper cup that you could probably make yourself. So for like cents, if you have a printer, and even if you don't, like draw it, I guess. And then you go down here, there's some celebrities that endorse it, that golf a lot. And then I'm scrolling all the way down, and here are the pricing. $99. I'm gonna say that again, $99 for something that I could pick up at Home Depot for probably under $10. I don't really know. I'm gonna put the price right here that I found from Home Depot, but like, look at this. It's the same thing. And I'm not saying that that's not a good product. I'm just saying you don't have to spend $100 to get the benefits, most of the benefits of the putting stick. And I'm going to show you how to use this and get a lot of benefit with your putting. So here we go. Okay, so the thing that started this all was this putting stick. So let's use this yardstick to show you how you can definitely do the same thing with a yardstick. I just need a ball. It's a pretty dirty ball, but all the putting stick really does, and like I said, it has a level on it, and it has like a backstroke stopper, but you could do that just with the yardstick. It doesn't have a tactile stopper, but if you are trying to get only like a 5-inch backswing, you can try to stop your club before you hit that 5 inches. And so I'm gonna put this right on the 7-inch mark, and so I don't want my club to go past this. And the whole point of the yardstick is if you hit a straight, true putt, it will not fall off this yardstick until the very end. If you pull it, if you push it, if your face is open, if your face is closed, your path is open, if your path is closed, it's going to show all of that. And if you can hit a 3-foot putt straight, then it's gonna be pretty much straight all the way through the putt. This is one of my things. I made a DIY putting mirror, link in the description, to help me stay square at setup. But this is another great one. On my yardstick, there's a line all the way down. I think it's pretty straight. So I'm gonna line up my alignment aid with that. And I'm just going to try to stop here, kind of like that backstop. I know my ground's level, so I don't need that level. I'm just gonna go for it. And that's my tendency as I pull. That one almost came off the ruler or the yardstick at the end. So I know that my face was probably a little bit closed, and so I'm gonna feel like my face is a little bit more open. And again, I'm gonna stop there and just have a little bit of tempo. Oh, and that time it fell off, like my face was open, so I had it a little bit too open. And I'm gonna do that one more time. And I really, I'm trying to think in my head, even if that level was a game changer, even if that stop was a game changer, would it be a game changer enough to have me spend an extra $95 for it? I don't think so. Oh, that one was perfect. You guys can be the decider. Maybe I'm missing something. Comment below if I'm missing something on this thing. Let's move on to the next one. So the second thing that I found online, because I started searching, because I'm like, what are the popular products that people buy that I feel like they're spending way too much money on? And the first thing that came to mind besides the putting stick, and I'm gonna go to Amazon real quick, because this is where I'm gonna price out most of this stuff. And I just searched up Smart Ball. So the Smart Ball is just a ball that you stick between your arms to keep you feel connected through the swing. And I'm like, okay, let's just see how much they are. So the Tour Strike one, which is like the original one, is $47, so about $50 for it from Amazon. You might be able to find it cheaper other places. There are some knockoff ones that are like $15, and you're like, oh, that might be even a better price for the Smart Ball. $15 seems quite reasonable for that. And so I'm gonna scroll down here, see if there's any ones that are any cheaper. I think the $15, $16 ones are the ones that are probably the cheapest. You get some for $44. But if you go out of the golf aisle and go in the toy aisle, I have multiple kids, you'll find a pack of these balls right here. And one cup, this is the soccer ball. They also have a football and a basketball that is around the same size for a pack of 3 for $5.97. And the football one you might not be able to use, but the basketball one and the soccer ball one is the same size, and it does the same thing. You're gonna put them in between your arms to feel more connected, and you're saving a lot of money. And I have actually one step better than this. I was looking through my house, and my wife had bought these little beach balls for my daughter's birthday party recently. She had a beach theme in October actually, and I think these are a little bit better. They're not as big, but I think they would work just as well. And the reason why I would choose this over this is because you can deflate this one, put it in your bag, and then inflate it when you want to use it at the range or just practicing. While this, you would have to bring a pump. This one you can use your lungs to fill it up. And this, you can buy a pack of 10 for like $5. So even if they explode on you because they're cheap, you have 10 of them. So I'm gonna show you how to use these in your swing now. Now we're gonna try the 2 Smart Balls, or the cheaper versions of the Smart Balls. I'm gonna try this version first, and I'm just gonna grab a golf ball. This is no means a endorsement of any of this stuff, except for those impact stickers. Those worked really well. But I'm just gonna put this in between my arms like this. I have something like similar. I don't really like these, but if it's something that you want to use, I mean, this is the same thing. And so I'm gonna just try to feel connected through the swing with this guy. Yeah, that one was okay, I guess. Try this again. Like I said, it's hard for me to use these. I'm just gonna, like, I can't believe that the real one is any different than this. So that's this one. The inflatable one, like I said, I would try to find something like this, mostly because you can fit it in your bag a little bit easier. I'm gonna inflate this one a little bit more. So it's inflated. I can use this again. Oh yeah, this one, just as good. Just as good, you guys. It definitely makes me feel more connected. I mean, do I like it? Not really, but I don't think it's because it's a DIY one. I just don't really like this feeling. And is it because I need it more? Maybe. I can tell you that this one, even though I like that it inflates, this one, since it's rubbery, this one feels like it's gonna slide out in between my arms. This one doesn't. I'm gonna do one more hit with this one. Should you buy the original $40 one? I don't think so. Not if you can get this, but maybe I should buy one and try them out head to head to see if that one's actually worth the extra $40. I don't really like the feeling of this, but if you're in the market of a Smart Ball, go ahead, go to Walmart, find these, and just use them. The other thing that I've noticed a lot of people use are those impact strike stickers. And so I'm gonna search that up real quick. And if you look online, you can find them. $16.88 for, it doesn't say for how many. There's also a $9.99, doesn't say how many you get. There's 315 pieces for $15.99. And like, I've used these, I've actually bought these before. I've got them with other stuff. I think I got some with my hitting mat just as like an extra. And I enjoyed using them a lot. I bet you a lot of you know to use the foot spray. And I've used the foot spray in the past. The only problem with the foot spray is if it's wet at all outside, it kind of ruins it. It doesn't work. You have to keep on applying it. You have to dry off your clubs before you apply it. And recently, after posting one of my videos, a subscriber actually told me about these dynamo stickers that you use to create labels for packages. And my wife used to have an online business, and she had a bunch of these, so I decided to try it out. And these are thermal paper, so like it uses heat to actual print stuff on here. And so I tried this out. It works wonderfully, and these are cheap. So I'm gonna actually search that up. And the only reason I would choose this over that is because if you look at this one, it has one for an iron, one for a driver, and one for like a fairway wood. You don't need that many, and I'd rather cover the whole face if I could and not worry about the shape of it. And so I'm gonna look this up real quick. Just remember, you can get 315 pieces for $15.99. Dynamo. I like these larger ones. I don't know if you see how wide these are. You can get probably 4 clubs out of one of these, at the very least 3 of them. So if you look at this one is the same one I have. It's a 4x6. Like I said, you can at least get 3 clubs out of this, if not 4, for $15.99, and you get 500 pieces of it. So if you think about that, that's 4 times 500. That's 2,000 stickers for your clubs for $15.99, and all you gotta do is cut them up. There's also ones that are smaller that you don't have to cut if you don't want to, for $12.99, 3 inch by 2 inch. There are 500 of them, still cheaper than the ones that are pre-cut and that are specifically for golf. So I'm gonna show you how well these work right now and show you how to get them on your club. Okay, so let's test out those impact stickers where I got a 7-iron here, and I'm just gonna cut it to fit this guy right here. And it's super easy to do. So all I'm gonna do is take the dynamo stickers. I'm just gonna kind of line them up with my club to kind of estimate how big I need to cut it. And so not super big, so I'm just gonna cut. And like I said, I've already used this once, and I'm just gonna cut about that big. Not that big at all. It's not even like super straight by any means. And so we're going to just take the sticker off and then just kind of place it on my club. Again, not even like a good size. If you're a little OCD, this might not be like the best sticker for you, but like it's super easy to do. And so now I'm just gonna hit a ball. And I'm gonna show you how easy and how quick it is. It covers the whole thing. I'm a pretty toey hitter, and so I'm gonna try not to hit this on the toe. That was super low and a little heely, but look how good that looks. Like, I'm gonna hit another one, try to hit one from the center. I was really trying to not hit the toe on that shot, so let's try that again. Oh, that was a good strike. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna end on that one. Pretty center of the club right there. That's the second shot. First shot was that one. See how well this works though? And it's so cheap that why wouldn't you do it? I'm in love with it. I shouldn't hit another one because that was right in the middle of the club face, but I'm going to because it was so good. That was toey. And it helps you, it really does. Like, again, I'm not a scratch golfer, but it helps you figure out where it is. That was a little low. It was kind of low on the face, a little toey, but it works so well, you guys. Do this. Everybody's looking for a little bit more distance, and I've seen these things called force pedals, and I'm gonna search those up on Amazon real quick. And I feel like these are another thing that if you are thinking about purchasing it, maybe think about DIYing it instead. And so These are specifically made for golfers, and they're just like these little pads that you put under your feet in a certain way, and it helps you use ground forces a little bit more. The actual name brand force pedal is $49.99, so about $50 for it. And as you can see, I have a tennis ball in my hand. There's some knockoff brands for $18.99, which I don't think is that bad of a price if you want to do it that way instead. But a pack of tennis balls is like $2.97. Cheap ones from Walmart. And I would get the cheap ones. You don't need to get the Wilson or the what's the other brand? That Dunlop is the other brand of tennis balls. And I would get the cheap ones because you're going to cut them in half anyway. So I'm going to cut this in half and show you exactly how well these work as force pedals. Okay, to make these force pedals, I'm just going to cut up a tennis ball. On these tennis balls, sometimes they have like a seam that you can see. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like a seam right here. I'm gonna try to follow that seam because I feel like that's like about half the ball. I don't really like the idea of using scissors. I wonder if I could use like a bandsaw to cut this. I don't know. I feel like that's even more dangerous. I'd have to make it jig. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm just gonna, and this is like not safe, you guys. I'm just gonna try to drill my scissors into this tennis ball. Would not recommend. Once it's in there and kind of big enough, I'm just gonna kind of work my way around where that seam is and just kind of cut this ball in half. So now we got these little force pedals. I'm going to show you how these work, and if I don't have really anything to compare them to, but I can't believe they're anything different than this. So let's try these out. So DIY force pedals, are they perfectly cut? Could I have spent a little bit more time on them? Yes. Will they still work? Yes. I believe that you're supposed to, oh look, DIY pressure board right here. I would totally make one of these, gain me 20 yards on my 8-iron. I would totally recommend. Going back to these DIY pressure pads, I believe the one on your trail leg is supposed to go underneath your heel, and then your lead foot is supposed to go on top of your toe, and you're just supposed to, on the backswing, press back. Downswing, you're supposed to press down on that one. I definitely feel like there's a lot of tactile feeling in there, and I kind of like that feeling of like knowing that I'm pressing back and then back. Let's try it with a club though. Where's my 7-iron? And I really don't think, again, with all these DIY things, I don't think that this is much different than those $40 pressure, I forget what they're called right now, pressure pucks? I don't know. So I'm just gonna, I kind of have to line them up to where my shot is. There we go. So I'm gonna feel like I'm really pushing down on my heel on my backswing, and then pushing down on my toe on my downswing. Ooh, I definitely mishit that one, but I'm kind of focusing on my feet. Let's put a little bit of tempo in this next one. I do feel like I'm not lined up properly, but so tempo and that swing here. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Okay, so I think they work. You just got to remember tempo. I think it's that same feeling of those pressure pucks. I forget what they're called right now. But I think it's the same feeling. I don't feel like it would be much different than this. I'm going to hit another one. Kind of like that feeling. So I'm feeling this, but I got to get that tempo in there too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I like those. I like those a lot. I would highly recommend these. I'm gonna probably hit a couple more. I feel very powerful doing this. I might do a whole video on these guys. One more here. Oh yeah. No, I like those. Make those, guys. Make them. So the last thing, and I'm really into tempo right now, is a tempo trainer. And I don't know if I would make the ones that are like a whippy tempo trainer, but I've seen these rope tempo trainers before, so I decided to see how much were, so I'm gonna search that. Rope tempo is all I'm gonna say. And it looks like, oh, there's one for $27.99, there's one for $31.99, there's one for $39.99, all super relatively inexpensive. But if you're trying to save money, I went to Home Depot and bought 500 feet of this rope, or not 500 feet, I bought 50 feet of rope from Home Depot for about $5.95. This is 3/8 inch rope. I would have got a half inch if they did a 50-foot roll, not a 100-foot roll, but I think this is gonna work fine. And if you look, I think there's a video of it. Yeah, here's a video of a guy using it. So it's just like, it just helps you with tempo. I'm really into tempo right now. I'm gonna use an old club, a little bit of a weight, maybe even a tennis ball. Yeah, I already bought tennis balls. I'm gonna use a tennis ball for the weight at the end of it. And then I'm gonna show you how to make it real quick and how well this works. So let's make this rope tempo trainer. I got this old club that is probably 20 years old, never gonna use again. I'm gonna chuck it up in my vise and just cut off the handle right at the grip. I just got a hacksaw somewhere. There it is. I'm just gonna cut it off. All right, dull blade, sharp blade, got the handle off. It's actually good size. I'm gonna quickly deburr on my belt sander, but you can do it with a file. I just got this handle now. Now I just gotta cut the rope to the certain length that I want. I'm gonna get my saws out of the way. I'm trying to make this as quickly as possible because I really don't think it needs to be that difficult. So I got this rope. On the video that I watched, it looked like it was actually quite long. And so I'm thinking it's probably needs to be like at least 4 feet when folded up. Yeah, I think that's about right. It's probably 4 feet. I'm gonna say it's about 4 feet. So I'm gonna cut it at this. Got cut really good. And then I got about this much length of rope here. Okay, so now I'm thinking I'm gonna use a tennis ball, and because on there's like a weight right here to kind of help you. And so I kind of punctured a hole on one side. I'm gonna try to puncture a hole on the other side. Do not recommend this. I'm just kind of starting it by drilling that in there, and I'm just gonna make this a little bit wider for the rope to fit in. Okay, so I got a hole on this side, a hole on this side. I'm just gonna feed the rope through these holes. I think this is gonna be the most difficult part. I'm gonna go this way, I think. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now I'm just gonna, that took a little bit longer than I thought. It's really difficult to get that through there. So now that I got this on here and it's kind of centered on the ropes, I'm going to attach the ropes to the handle. And all I'm gonna use to attach these is a little bit of electrical tape. I like the electrical tape because I feel like I can like really stretch it on there, but you could also use some duct tape. So I'm gonna do that now. I think the hardest part is gonna get this started, and after I get it started, it will be pretty easy. I'm just gonna wrap this as much as possible. I'm also gonna wrap it a little bit around the rope too as I go, but like that. Let's go all the way back. So if something like this, let's go try it out. Okay, so here's that tempo trainer. As you can see, I actually, it's only like 3 feet now. It was way too long before. I think what you want to do is when you have it set up, it should just like have a little bit of slack as it's touching the ground. And so that's kind of how I did it. And I've been messing with this a little bit, and I really, really like this style of tempo trainer. I think it does much better than the other style tempo trainer where it's like a whippy club. And I'll explain why, because you really got to be patient and you really can feel the speed at the bottom of the swing. And I really like how this has an actual grip. If you look, that electrical tape like looks really good. and that tennis ball is a good amount of weight and it doesn't hurt when it hits your back, because it's supposed to hit your back. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to swing back. It's supposed to hit you right here. If it doesn't, then your backswing wasn't quite as good on playing backswing. So it's supposed to hit you there. As soon as it hits you there, you're supposed to bring it back and feel the speed at the bottom of the arc of that ball. And you really can feel that speed down there. So here, I'll give you an example. So I'm going to start like this. It's going to come back around me. See, that was a bad backswing. So I'm going to come back around me. It's going to hit me there. And as soon as it hits me there, that's my cue to start my downswing. So it's going to kind of look like this. And as you can hear, that speed is at the bottom of the swing. And I really like that audio feedback. And you really have to be patient for that to hit you. And it just, I don't know, the rope version is very, very good. This whole thing cost me 10 bucks. Not the 45, not the 15, not the 20, it's like 10 bucks. This is a great thing to DIY, and I think you guys should do it. So there you guys have it. 5 things that I think you should DIY instead of buy. Let me know what else I could DIY in the comments. And again, there's a poll on my community page of what I'm going to DIY next. Please go to that community page and tell me what you want to see next, and maybe put it in the comments in there what I should DIY. And until next time, make your golf your project.